It was a Sunday morning, and we ended up getting dropped off.
It took us about 10 minutes to get all suited up, and then the driver left. So the 5 of us were left there with just our wetsuits and boards and a camera. So after we get down there, we just paddled out and started surfing, and after about 20 minutes, 2 sheriff cars came down. And once we saw them, we knew why they were there.
Started seeing the cop cars roll up. That's when I kind of got concerned. I was like, oh man, this is really going down right now. I was actually out in the water, and I thought about paddling away actually, but then I just decided it wasn't worth the struggle in the sharky waters to get away.
This land is your land. This land is my land. From California, well, to the New York Island. From the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream water.
The coastline from Santa Cruz to Half Moon Bay is just amazing. It's wide open. There's hardly any people there. Right in the middle of it is a place called Martin's Beach, which is as incredible as the rest of the coastline is. Martin's Beach is really, truly stunning.
If you get down there, it's unique. There's only one way in and there's only one way out, and nobody owns the beaches.
The land was originally purchased by the Deeney family.
When the Deeneys owned the property, they lived there, and so if a car came down, wanted to enjoy the beach, they could walk out and collect the $3, the $7, the $10 that did go up over the years.
There's a really nice left reef break there, and just a nice cove. I heard there's good fishing there. A lot of the old fishermen talk about really good steelhead and striper runs. I heard stories of my parents and other parents talking about how cool it was.
You know, I took my kids down to the beach when they were learning to surf, and then all of a sudden the gate was closed for a period of a week, and then it would reopen again, and then finally it was just shut altogether.
I think in California, what the California Constitution and the Coastal Commission envision is that one of the limitations on private property rights is you can't use your property to exclude the public from navigable waters, and that includes beaches up to the median high tide line.
The land is thought to be bought by Vina Khosla.
I co-authored a letter to send directly to Khosla to discuss it with us so that we could manage the issue. We're not against property rights. I'm a homeowner on the coast myself. Actually, in the letter to us, his lawyer suggested that they were pleased that Surfrider was pushing the issue because they wanted it to go to court, they wanted it to be tested, and they felt that, in fact, the law would side with them in the end.
He's supposedly this green energy friendly entrepreneur.
So that's why we decided that the most effective means was, public pressure. Eventually, we got the momentum to have a protest, and that actually attracted quite a few people along the highway.
I dove into the California Constitution and the California Coastal Act, and I came to the conclusion that we have a right to access the beach.
I was at their house one night, and they decided that they were going to surf Martin's Beach the next morning.
It was 5 of us, Jonathan Brimmer, Kyle Foley, Austin Murrison, myself, and Tyler Schmidt. And right when we started walking past the gate, the property manager, the eyes of the property there, he shows up and tells us we can't be there.
When I got down all the way to the beach and I actually stepped onto the sand, another property manager came up to me and stated, you're trespassing, I'm asking you to leave. At that point, I was already on the sand, and I responded, am I trespassing? And he said, well, no, you're not trespassing. And I'm like, well, then I'm going surfing. And I got in the water. I ended up paddling back in to the beach. I was down the beach from where they could park, so one of the sheriffs walked down to come meet me. The first words out of his mouth was, you're under arrest for trespassing.
Oh, we were a little concerned that at first, when we first got the charge, because we realized we were facing a misdemeanor charge.
I've spent a lot of my practice representing people who are charged with crimes during political events. And I've always enjoyed being part of a team that treats defending criminal defendants as a political cause. On behalf of Mr. Bremer, my name is Dan Barton.
Okay, and starting with Mr. Bramer.
Your Honor. Good morning, Elizabeth Nardi on behalf of the people. With regards to lines 7 through 11 who have just stated their appearances, the people are moving to dismiss these charges for insufficient evidence.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Very well. Motion granted. Thanks for coming down.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
When we looked into this further, we realized that issues relating to Martins Beach particularly and beach access generally created a doubt as to whether or not the 5 gentlemen in question here were actually violating the trespass law.
Being present on that land, crossing the land to use a public beach, doesn't create sufficient evidence that you committed a crime. And so, does that mean the beach is open? I don't know. It means that the county's not going to prosecute you if you cross that land to access the public beach.
This land was made for you and me.
I've got kids who are going to be off to college before they get to go back and use that beach. Is this going to be in limbo for 5 to 10 years?
It could be a decade. And the question is, what is happening while those entities are considering it over the next decade? Is the beach going to be a private beach for this owner alone?
This is an issue that affects all of us. It's not an issue about whether I get to go surf on the beach. It's an issue of whether you get to take your kids to the beach or whether you get to go surf at the beach. It's bigger than any one of us.
This land was made for you.
As long as other people heard about it and we got the word out, that's super important.
As I was walking, now they tried to
I'd say I'm a surf activist now, after this.
put up a sign that said, oh, it said private property.